We are just 2 days from the Walt Disney Company earnings call, and Nelson Peltz is waging a proxy fight against the Walt Disney Company. We've often wondered if billionaire Elon Musk, who has been very vocal in his disrespect of Bob Iger, could somehow get involved. Well, we now have confirmation from the red carpet of a movie premiere, of all places, that Elon Musk and Nelson Peltz have been talking about companies to acquire. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Good morning. I am Jonas J. Campbell. I am an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and with me, as always, is Mr. Vash Sky. Vash, how you doing this morning?
Doing pretty good. Woke up to some pretty interesting news.
I know, right?
I guess we're just looking at companies to acquire. Am I right?
Yeah, with a big old wink and a nod. I mean, come on, let's just get straight into it.
Absolutely.
Elon Musk and Nelson Peltz embrace publicly just days ahead of Disney's next earnings call. Musk hints he might acquire Disney. Oh, I love this video, and it's hilarious to me on so many levels. Let's talk about it. Bob Iger might want to order more ulcer medication. This by WDW Pro. You may know him. You may love him. You may hate him. Otherwise, let's keep reading the article. The richest man in the world, who had choice words for the Disney CEO at a New York Times summit, has publicly embraced a man waging a proxy war for control of the Walt Disney Company. Lola went loca today. That would be the Spanish word for crazy. The feminine form of crazy, by the way, but not for the typical Hollywood reasons one might expect on a red carpet. Instead, it could be that Disney CEO Bob Iger is seeing red, perhaps turning red, after a surely orchestrated public display of camaraderie was had between Nelson Peltz and Elon Musk. The latter is, of course, the man who famously told those companies boycotting X something colorful about going forth and loving themselves. He then turned to the crowd and said, "Oh, hello, Bob," which was a reference to Disney CEO Bob Iger, who had just been on the same stage talking about Elon Musk. Oh, my. Meanwhile, Nelson Peltz is the largest private shareholder of Disney stock. I've heard of him, as well as the head of Trian, an activist investment fund looking to shore up 2 board seats on the Disney directorship. That would be the board of directors, which Disney is hoping to get the same board of directors elected that they've had for the last, I'd say, 6 or 7 years or so. That's in contrast to what Disney officially wants, as the board has not recommended Trian's proposed board members, who will be up for a ballot vote coming in April. I think the votes are actually being counted before April, by the way, for anybody who happens to be a shareholder. No financial advice, just adding more information. Trian wants both Nelson Peltz and former Disney chief financial officer Jay Rasulo on the board. And Trian has not been subdued with their criticisms of the board, as well as current Disney management. Here's a tweet. Disney is the world's greatest entertainment company, but each non-management director has watched as shareholders' returns have lagged. Collectively, they own less than $15 million in Disney stock. By the way, this is a $177 billion company as of this morning, and Trian believes Disney needs new, truly independent board members to restore the magic. They don't own much of the company. It's a good thing, too, because their wealth level would be destroyed if we look at how much it's dropped, even under Maria Elena Lagomasino right here. That is a total shareholder underperformance versus the S&P 500 of 160% over 8 years.
Ooh, yeah, you'd be you'd be out a lot. I guess that's where the comment comes from Nelson Peltz, right? Suggesting that cast members at Walt Disney World were happy because they didn't actually own Disney stock. That's where a lot of that rhetoric is coming from. Because if you did, you'd be in a real bad shape right now.
Yeah, I would also add that Maria Elena Lagomasino is one of the seats. Her seat is one of the seats that Peltz is going for, because executive compensation, she has been the chair of the Executive Compensation Committee for a while now. And one of the issues is the many hundreds of millions of dollars that is going to be paid to Bob Iger as part of his compensation package, while billions of dollars are wiped off the board by the actions of this company. Michael B.G. Froman. Oh, man, this is great. I was just over on Legal Mindset, and he pointed out that in Peltz's proxy statement from Trian Fund Partners, points out that while Michael Froman's wife is friends with Bob Iger's wife, there seems to be little other reason that he would be associated with this company.
Wow, that's really interesting. I had no idea that
Yeah.
Michael Froman had ties to Willow Bay. That's interesting.
Yes, yes. The fact that Eisner's son's school principal was on the board at the time that Eisner was, I would say, in the dark time of his tenure there, comes to mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would say so, absolutely, for sure.
Oh, but here we get to it. But perhaps the biggest bombshell of Elon Musk joining Peltz on the red carpet of Selena Gomez's Lola film was his hinting that he was with friends and thinking about companies to acquire. Oh, and we'll show the video in a second here, because you can just tell that Elon Musk is awkward, but that doesn't mean he doesn't hold all the cards. If there's anyone who has the pockets deep enough to actually help Peltz take control of Disney, it's Elon Musk. And there's little doubt in the timing of all this, considering the next earnings call for the Walt Disney Company is later this week, 2 days from after we release this video. By the way, the Pro Show will be on Tuesday at noon. We'll be covering some of this stuff, but Valiant Renegade is doing a live stream in which they cover the earnings call live, and then of course we'll have the wrap up on that Park Place Live the next day at noon. On Thursday at noon, we'll be covering all the fallout after we've had a little bit of time to digest. And there's little doubt in the timing of all this, considering the next earnings call is later this week. Hard to imagine Bob Iger having the earnings call now without even a question about this possibility. Let's see the video, unless you have a comment here before we get to it.
Oh, no, please. We got it. We got to check this out here.
I just pulled this out of my closet. So
it looks really, you look like a pilot.
Thanks. So I'm a pilot.
Oh, looking cool. So what brings you to the Lola carpet?
I'm just here with friends. Thinking about companies to acquire.
Whoa, like Fab TV? Maybe you can acquire Fab TV. Okay.
Why?
I love it. Okay, so let's just put the guy's like, are you going to buy Fab TV? Because I think he really wanted to get his company name in there. But just watch him. First of all, he said he just pulled a bomber jacket out of his closet. Love that.
Love that.
He is a pilot. Of course he's a pilot. He's Elon Musk.
Now, was that the same bomber jacket that he famously wore when he told Disney to go fund themselves?
Could you repeat that and make sure you don't get anywhere near?
Hey, I'm doing that Park Place version. How about that? But I believe, I think this was this was the same jacket, right?
I think it is the same jacket. Yes, I was worried I was talking over you, and it sounded like you said the.
Oh no!
The
go fund themselves.
Yes. Okay.
Same.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be the same bomber jacket, and we'll see a picture here in just a moment. But the thing that I like here is, as he's being asked the question, he very specifically looks over his shoulder. Watch him.
Bomber jacket. I just pulled this out of my closet. So
it looks really, you look like a pilot.
Thanks. So I'm a pilot.
Oh, looking cool. So what brings you to the Lola carpet?
I'm just here with friends.
I'd say that was very specifically looking over his shoulder at Peltz.
Yes, I would say so. That's a really interesting detail that I didn't notice when watching this. Now, you'll notice also that Nelson Peltz is in the frame here, which is kind of a cool shot, and we'll see some photos of them later. But this wasn't just like, oh, they both showed up and they just happened to be at the same premiere. No, they were very much with each other attending this thing, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, let's look one more time, and we'll get that wonderful non-wink wink from Musk
Please.
at the end too.
I'm just here with friends. Thinking about companies to acquire.
Whoa, like Fab TV? Maybe you can acquire Fab TV. Okay.
It's amazing.
I mean,
it's absolutely incredible.
Even if he's just trying to give Bob Iger a little bit of coronary here, I mean, my goodness, I would be sweating bullets if I was Bob Iger right now, because it would only take $8.85 billion at the current market capitalization of the Walt Disney Company in order for Elon Musk to acquire 5% of that company. He was famously passed over for $55 billion by the Chancery Court, who jumped in and violated a shareholder agreement with Musk and said he couldn't have that $55 billion. I wonder if that $55 billion would have gone towards something constructive like this.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting point, right? And there's a lot of, oh man, that Delaware case, just the partisanship is off the charts there, and there's a whole bunch to say about that for sure. I think it's why he may be reincorporating in Texas. But I just want to comment on this bomber jacket real fast here. I'm going to add my screen here real fast. You can see, I think it's the same one. I think
you're right. Yes. Yeah, I would agree. That's the same jacket.
Okay, so this is a statement on multiple levels. Am I right, or are we looking too much into this?
I don't know. Well, even if it isn't, I think that Elon Musk's intention, regardless of the jacket, which that's a good eye, seeing that it's the same one, and he's very much emphasizing, oh no, let's just have this jacket. And I love that he's a billionaire, and he's like, I don't care about this stuff. Maybe part of the reason that he's a billionaire is because he does not care about this stuff.
But you know who does, though? Bob Iger cares about this stuff.
I mean, Two Shower Bob. Yeah, I think he very much is aware of appearances. I would doubt that Bob Iger wears the same sweater, even in two halves of the same pixie dusting promotional video.
We have heard that Bob Iger is one of these kind of legacy Hollywood guys that likes the cameras, likes the red carpet premieres, likes this whole, Hollywood industrial complex, let's say, with the lights and the glamour and the glitz and the celebrity. So to kind of, say this in what is Bob Iger's domain is quite an interesting thing on that level as well. To choose to be linked up with Nelson Peltz in such a public display on a red carpet. I mean, it's kind of speaking to Bob's language, interestingly enough, and Elon, I think, is well aware of that.
I mean, this clip came out on Sunday night, or Sunday morning, I should say. So maybe this was Saturday night, and obviously earnings call very close. Elon Musk has responded. See, here's the thing: there are levels to this where I don't want to say don't give me hope. I don't want to be that clip from the Avengers where where Ronan turns around and is crying as Black Widow is pulling him back from the brink, saying, "Don't give me hope, don't do it." When Pro pointed out that Restoring Magic had a response from Elon Musk, I had forgotten Restoring Magic only has 200 followers, but then of course Restoring Magic advertises on Twitter, so maybe that's how he would know. But then I realized if anyone is above at getting advertised to on Twitter, it probably is Elon Musk. Now, there's a case to be made that he probably uses the everyman version of the software so that he gets that everyman experience so that he understands the product better. But Elon Musk responding to Restoring Magic, which is Peltz's current campaign, that is a bigger deal than I initially thought it was. And of course, the fact that these two are sitting next to each other. Let's go to the next picture. This is my favorite picture. I think I'm going to make the thumbnail up out of this one. Elon Musk arm in arm there with Nelson Peltz, and of course Peltz's family over here. There's been a question here to me whether or not this is his son-in-law or this is one of Peltz's sons. I think this is his son-in-law that is a Beckham, but I'm not quite sure about that. Maybe I don't know this one. This girl right here, pretty sure that's Peltz's daughter.
Yes, yeah. From what I understand, that's how the arrangement is. So Peltz decided to bring family members with him, to see Uncle Elon there at this premiere. This is a very interesting. This is an interesting dynamic here, man. I mean, this is close. This is close. This is not just we're just casually hanging out. I mean, there's motive here. There's meaning here.
Yeah, and there's this idea here that Peltz is in for a pump and dump. I don't think Elon Musk buys a company for a pump and dump at this point, because I think he is above needing money I don't think that he would get into entertainment to make money at this point. So I think if these two partner together, it's not because they just want to make make a measly $30 million or something like that, or let's say, what would he buy in at $80 a share, $6 billion worth, maybe a couple of $1 billion here. Musk is not hurting for money right now, despite the fact that his pay package was just rejected. I think what's probably going to happen there is they'll reincorporate in another state and they'll go for it again. Whatever. We don't need to dwell too much, other than the fact that that Elon Musk was intending to have about $55 billion more in personal funding that he didn't end up having that particular weekend. But let's continue on here. The public appearance of the two most prominent men wishing for a change at Disney. Hey, Pro, I'm standing right here. How dare you, sir? Just 6 days after Musk had called out for leadership change at Disney, the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla said current leadership of the company was destroying it. Said statement seemed to be prompted by a new disclaimer Disney had placed on the animated classic Aristocats, which now maligns the movie as featuring inappropriate content by today's standards. I saw the clip even this morning. It's not that bad, guys. I'm not saying it's the most culturally sensitive clip, but it's less than 18 seconds of a caricature of a cat with chopsticks on the piano, and the accent could be better, but guys, chill out.
You would think.
Yeah. It has yet to be seen if Elon Musk will buy shares of Disney or help Nelson Peltz acquire more for his voting power. We had a little contemplation on legal mindset this morning, which I personally appreciated, and which we said, okay, if Elon Musk buys 5% of the Disney company, well, that is something that has to be disclosed. Whereas if Nelson Peltz were to be handed, I don't know, $8 billion to buy more shares in the Disney company, all of that regulatory requirement would be on Nelson Peltz. And he's been very public in his quest and his intention for reforming Disney at this point.
Well, it also looks different too if Peltz were to acquire those shares rather than Elon, because if Elon were to acquire those shares, you could face a situation where the stock price goes up because demand goes up. Whereas if if Peltz acquires more shares, that doesn't necessarily move the stock price. Would that be a fair assessment?
Well, I don't know. And no financial advice. I should have said that 5 minutes ago. But I think either one of them deciding to buy more shares increases the stock. I would, if I were to guess, and I think Peltz has actually said this in some of his proxy statements right now, any rise in the Walt Disney share price right now from sub 90 to where it is now. It was 97 at some point earlier today. I think, it's at 97 right now. I think that is mostly based on speculation around Peltz getting power at the Walt Disney Company. Whether or not that is everybody just waiting to see what happens here, they're willing to bet that it'll rise a little bit, or they're willing to bet that it'll rise a lot. I would guess that a lot of that current rise is speculation because of Peltz, and maybe it's speculation on what the Disney Company might do in order to defend against Peltz, to give Disney a little bit of credit there, because the layoffs are going to continue in Bob Iger's quote unquote year of building.
I see.
So,
I see.
Vash, you got any more comments before we wrap this thing up?
I would say this: you've got the richest man in the world talking about needing a leadership change at Disney because leadership is currently destroying the company. We have that same person on the red carpet with somebody staging an active proxy fight currently. You have both of them kind of, let's say, they're aligned in their goals, let's say, and they've been putting that out publicly. I wouldn't sleep on this. This is something big. This is something real big. And I think the entertainment press and so forth, they're starting to catch up to this. Obviously, this was over Sunday, so some of them weren't in the office. Let's put it that way. But they're a couple days before the earnings call. By the way, a couple months before the shareholders meeting, this is something big.
Yes.
I'm so glad that that Park Place Pro, you Jonas, found all this and incorporated for us, because this is some big stuff.
Well, we're glad to be of service, and of course, you're a part of it, Vash. The last thing that I want to say here before we wrap up is, of course, that the Disney company currently worth about $177 billion because of the rise in stock price. It was hovering around anywhere between 145 to 160 over the last year, and Elon Musk's net worth is around $230 billion, so more than the Walt Disney Company. I'm not talking about Twitter. I'm not talking about SpaceX. I'm not talking about Tesla. Elon Musk's personal net worth is worth a sizable chunk larger than the Walt Disney Company. So if he decided to go, as he's often described as going demon mode on this issue, I would really want to look out if I were Bob Iger.
Yes, and as I think you and Andrew Esquire said so brilliantly this morning, it wouldn't necessarily take a full buyout, even though that's somewhat possible, especially if he were to liquidize all of his assets. A couple percentage points, 5%, 6%, 7%. That's all it takes to really kind of move this needle in that direction.
Right. He could, with a measly $10 billion, he could become someone that the Disney company has to acknowledge on every single one of their proxy statements.
Very true.
So, and I do think there is room for improvement there at the Walt Disney Company. So if they're basing their stock price right now, as they like to brag, Value Act has come in saying that they think that the stock price is worth it just based on the theme park assets. Well, then there is a case to be made for other people to invest in the Walt Disney Company. Oh my. But of course, we'll be covering more of that here in the next few days. First of all, WDW Pro has the Pro Show at noon on Thursday. Then the Valiant Renegade live stream. That'll be starting 30 minutes before the Walt Disney Company earnings call. Go and click the notification bell if you want to know there. And of course, if you want that summarized fallout from it, then you should tune into That Park Place Live Thursday at noon Eastern Time here on That Park Place. Like this video if you like this video. If you know someone who it would make their day to know that Elon Musk and Nelson Peltz are chatting it up, well, then maybe share this video with them. And of course, if you would consider subscribing to That Park Place, we would appreciate it for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.